Here we are in section 4.2 exercises, part C, with the solutions to numbers 1 through 6. Number 1 looks like a review word problem from chapter 3. Three types of trees are in a local park. The number of aspens, so this is a type of tree, probably symbolize that with an A, is 4 more than twice the number of birch. Another type of tree, we'll probably symbol that with a B. There were 50 more pines than birch. Oh my word. 50 more pines. That's another type of tree, a pine tree. We'll probably use a P on that. There are a total of 874 trees in a park. How many of each kind are there? Well, let's look at all of our data. We have a total of 874. We have aspens, pines, and birch. And we got 4 more than twice the number of something and 50 more than pines than birch. Okay, so let's do it. We got to get some variables here. It says how many of each kind are there? Well, we know there are, let's write this out, 50 more pines than birch. So the pines, there were 50 more of them than the birch. So the pines are going to equal 50 plus the birch. So birch plus 50, and you'll get 50 more pines than birch. Okay, so that's one of them. Aspens. This says aspens equals 4 plus then twice the number of birch. And then of course we have the birch right over here. Well, there are a total of them. So let's add all three of those together. So we have the birch plus the pines, 50 plus B, plus the aspens, 4 plus 2B. Look, there we have it. The birch plus the pines plus the aspens all add up to 874. And look at where we are. We just created an equation. We now are in happy math land where we can add these together, combine the b's, and solve like a normal equation. Let's combine all of the b's together and we get 1, 2, 3, 4b plus 54. Good, that's combining all the like terms on the left-hand side, equals 874. We can solve that guy. We know how to do it. Let's put it right up here in a different color. 4b plus 54 equals 874. Subtract 54 from both sides. That's 4b equals 820. And then divide by 4 and we get b equals 205. So if the birch, there are 205 birch. Good, that's that one. Now if we put a 205 right here, 205, then 50 plus 205 means that the pines are at 255. And if we put 205 for the birch right here, 205, 2 times 205 is 410, plus 4 is 414. Once we get that one, we stick it back in for the B, and it will tell us what the other ones are. 255 pines, 414 aspens. Let's check our answer. 205 birch, 414 aspen, 255 pine. Good. Next problem. If the length is 7 more than 4 times the width of a rectangle, that's where we are, and the perimeter is 74, so let's write that out. Perimeter is 74 millimeters is the unit that we're using. What are the dimensions? Well, let's draw a little rectangle and see what we have here. So we have the length and the width, and the length is 7 more than 4 times the width. So 7 more than 4 times the width. Well, and we have perimeter. Do we have a formula that will help link those together? Yes, we do. We know the perimeter formula, or you can look it up in the book. That's perimeter equals 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Well, the perimeter we know is 74 equals 2 times the length, which we know is this whole thing, 7 plus 4w. So we put that in parentheses to make sure we multiply the whole thing, then plus that 2w. Oh, look at that. We have an equation and we can solve this guy. There's a happy equation right there. Let's distribute this and then combine like terms and put it into an equation that we can solve over here. 74 equals, when the 2 jumps into the 7, it's a 14. plus an 8W plus a 2W. Hey, we can put those W's together. 74 equals 14 plus 10W. Good. Now we've got the W's all together on one side and can just subtract and divide and find W. Subtract 14 and we get 60 equals 10W. When we divide both sides by 10, we get W equals 6. W equals 6. Now, if W equals 6, then we can put a 6 right there for the W. 7 plus 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 7 is 31. So the length must be 31. 31 what? We are in millimeters. So length is 31 millimeters, and the width is 6 millimeters. Let's put the little m's there. Check our answer. Width is 6, length is 31. Correct. Number 3, solve. Oh, this is an equation review from chapter 3 where we are going to solve and get x's by themselves. Let's recall the things that we need to do to simplify this down. Are there any, number 1, parentheses? There are, so we distribute. So we get 5x minus 35 equals 3 halves x plus 15. Other things we can do to simplify. Are there fractions? There are. So we can times through by the least common denominator. There's only one denominator and it's 2, so we can times through by 2 everywhere. And so we get 10x right there. 10x minus 70 equals that 2 and that 2 cancel, so we're left with 3x plus 30. Okay, any other way to simplify? Yeah, these x's are still separate from each other. So we need to get them together by getting rid of the 3x or the 10x. Let's get rid of that 3x over here. Subtract 3x from both sides and we get 7x minus 70 equals, the 3x's on the right hand side cancel, and we get 30. Now the x's are all together on one side without parentheses or fractions. So this is simplified. This is a happy equation. We can now just get rid of the 70, add and subtract. So add 70 to both sides, and we get 7x equals 100, and then divide both sides by 7. We get x equals 100 sevenths. Now if you punch that in a calculator, you might get 14.28 or something. Let's check our answer. And we get 100 sevenths. Leaving it at an improper fraction is perfectly okay. Number 4, we now have an original price of $92.50 and a discount, which is a subtraction, a discount of 20%. So we're going to take 20% of the original price. And we have that number, so we don't even need a variable. 0.2 times 92.50, and we're going to subtract that from 92.50, 92.50, and we don't need that 0. Let me see. We can do that just in our calculator. We take 92.50, let's write that down, 92.50 if you want, subtract off 0.2, that's 20%, of is times 92.5 equals 74. So the final price is $74. Let's check our answer. It is $74. A very similar problem. We have an original price and a discount and a final price, but we are not given the original price. So when we go to subtract off the discount here of the original price, we don't know what it is. We need to have a variable. So it starts out just with the same pattern. The original price subtracted off 25% of the original price, multiplying on the original always, equals the final, 174.30 or 0.3. Now look, we have an equation. We know how to solve this guy. Let's put a little smiley face right there. P minus 0.25p is 0.75p, and that equals 174.30. And this is where algebra is so handy. We can now, divide just by the 0.75, and it will leave that p by itself. So we get p equals Calculator, 174.3 divided by 0.75 equals, and we get 232.4. And if that's dollars and cents, we put that 0 on there to say it was 40 cents. And let's check our answer. 232.40. Good. Number 6. What is the volume of a cylinder with radius 8 centimeters and height 12 centimeters? Well, this is a shape, so we have a cylinder. It's going to look something like this. There we go. And the radius is 8 and the height is 12, and we're in centimeters. And we're looking for the volume, so we need to have that formula. We look in the book and we find that the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. Okay, so we have r, we have h, and we need to find v. So let's stick in what we know. We have volume equals pi times 8 squared times 12. Well, this is an equation, but we already have v by itself, so we don't need to do any solving or algebra. We just need to punch this into the calculator. Let's do that. We have pi times 8 squared times 12 equals 2,412.74. Okay, but what is that in? Centimeters, centimeters. We're in volume. This is a three-dimensional thing, so this is centimeters to the third power, or cubed. We can kind of see that because we took a centimeters in the radius and squared it to get centimeters squared. Then timesing by another set of centimeters gives us centimeters cubed. Let's check our answer. 2,412.74 centimeters cubed. Now, if you had chosen to round 2412.7 or 2,413, that wouldn't have been incorrect at all without the instructions on where to round. Good.